Good Monday, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Conversations Daily News. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. Well, it's a brand new day, it's a brand new week, which means it's yet another opportunity for you to do something amazing, and it all begins today. We, of course, have your news headlines coming up today. We have the Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich, and in today's Entertainment Spotlight, you being part of my conversation with actor and comedian Preston Taylor. Enjoy today's program. For Conversations Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with your Monday headlines. In international news, Indian court urges government action as hospital cry help. With Indian hospitals struggling to secure a steady supply of oxygen and more COVID-19 patients dying amid the shortages, a court in New Delhi said it would start punishing government officials for failing to deliver the life-saving items. On Sunday, India recorded a slight drop in new infections with 392,488 from a high of 401,993 in the previous 24 hours. It also reported 3,689 additional deaths, bringing the total number in India alone to 215,542. Experts believe both figures, though, are an undercount. The government has been using the railroad, the Air Force, and the Navy to rush oxygen tankers to worst-hit areas where overwhelmed hospitals are unable to cope with an unprecedented surge in patients gasping for air. 12 COVID-19 patients, including a doctor on high-flow oxygen, died Saturday at a hospital in New Delhi after it ran out of the supply for 80 minutes. The Times of India newspaper reported another 16 deaths in 2 hospitals and 6 in another hospital on the outskirts of New Delhi because of the oxygen shortage. With the government unable to maintain a steady supply of oxygen, several hospital authorities sought a court intervention in the Indian capital, where a lockdown has been extended by a week to contain the wave of infections. New Delhi reported 412 deaths in the past 24 hours, the highest since the pandemic started. In national news, advisors suggest Biden still wears mask outside out of habit. One of President Joe Biden's top White House advisors suggested Sunday that he still wears a mask outdoors out of habit, although the latest public health guidance says he doesn't need it. Questioned about Biden's practice, senior advisor Anita Dunn told CNN State of the Union that she realized that she was also still wearing her mask outdoors, even after the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention said fully vaccinated people like her and Biden can stop wearing masks outside when they're alone or not among strangers. I myself found that I was still wearing my mask outdoors this week because it has become such a matter of habit, Dunn said. I think the president takes the CDC guidelines very seriously, and he's always taken his role as sending a signal to follow the science very seriously as well. Biden wore a mask outdoors several times last week as he approached microphones to give speeches, including an appearance on the White House lawn last Tuesday to discuss the CDC's relaxed mask guidance. Asked afterwards about the message he was sending by wearing a mask outside as he stood alone, Biden replied, "By watching me take it off and not put it back on until I get inside." The CDC recently said Americans fully vaccinated against COVID-19 don't need to cover their faces anymore unless they're in a large crowd of strangers. Some public health experts have questioned Biden's continued mask wearing outdoors. Dunn said some extra precautions are taken with Biden since he is president. She urged people to follow CDC guidelines and to get fully vaccinated because that will mean they can go mask-free outside as summer approaches. In more national news, Pentagon chief calls for new vision for American defense. In his first major speech as Pentagon chief, Lloyd Austin said on Friday that he was developing a new vision for American defense in the face of emerging cyber and space threats and the prospect of fighting bigger wars. Reflecting President Joe Biden's promise to put diplomacy first in dealing with foreign policy problems, Austin said the military should provide leverage that diplomats can use to prevent conflict. His comments suggested a contrast with what critics call the militarization of U.S. policy in recent decades. U.S. military isn't meant to stand apart, but to buttress U.S. diplomacy and advance a foreign policy that employs all of our instruments of national power, Austin said in his speech. And finally, in entertainment news, Olympia Dukakis, Oscar-winning Moonstruck actor, dies at 89. Olympia Dukakis, the veteran stage and screen actor whose flair for maternal roles helped her win an Oscar as Cher's mother in the romantic comedy Moonstruck, has died. Dukakis died Saturday morning in her home in New York City, according to Allison Levy, her agent and innovative artist. A cause of death was not immediately released by the Associated Press, but her family said in a statement that she had been in failing health for months. She referred to her 1988 win as the year of the Dukakis because it was also the year Massachusetts Governor Michael Dukakis, her cousin, was the Democratic Party's presidential nominee. Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. It's now time for the Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich. Mary Ellen, take it away.
Hi, this is Mary Ellen with your Truth of the Day. Choose to express feelings of love and care to others. You can create more depth and meaning in your relationships when you choose to express your love and care for others without expecting anything in return. It is always wonderful when our feelings of love and care are reciprocated, and you will sabotage yourself if you make this a condition of why you are expressing your feelings to others. By choosing to shower your love freely, regardless of the responses you receive, you will feel fulfilled to freely express your emotions. And at the same time, you'll be encouraging others to open up to you. All of us must understand every loving word and gesture contributes positively to the healing of our society. Today, become able to express love, affection, and gratitude to other people. And remember, enjoy the day.
Actor and comedian Preston Taylor is featured in today's Entertainment Spotlight, working on Conversations Daily News. For Conversations Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with the Entertainment Spotlight. Actor and comedian Preston Taylor joined me recently on Conversations Live, the radio show, to talk about his extraordinary career and his new special called Farm to TV. Here's a bit of our conversation. You know, Farm to TV is a great look, I think, not only at your talent, which we're going to get into that, but also how you got to where you are. What was that journey like for you, Preston, to kind of look at where you started and where you are today?
It's been a very long and interesting journey. Definitely a lot of fun and a lot of twists and turns along the way. And I think that's really what Farm to TV gives people. You know, even the name is kind of meant that way. It's a play on farm to table, right? Which is always the story of where your produce came from. Hey, the farmer down the street, blah, blah, blah. So I wanted to be able to do the same thing with myself as when you see the opening in Farm to TV, you see my family, you see the country, you see the cows. And so the whole hope was to let people know that, man, this was a long journey. This is real. Like, you know, I come from a town of 4,000 people where there were 8 black people growing up. So it was a very undiverse area and very small. And, I didn't personally think that it was going to take so many steps to get to Los Angeles or get to entertainment. And my goodness, it's a long way. It's a very long way in between. So I tell people I'm very gracious because, without that long journey, without the college, the stories, some of the racism stories you get there in the show, those things are all a part of the journey, all a part of the story. And if those things don't happen, there's probably no, Preston Taylor the comedian.
Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. We thank you all for tuning in to this edition of Conversations Daily News. We'll have you guys on tomorrow with more news, Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich, and of course your Entertainment Spotlight. Until then, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Daily News today. Let's make today amazing. Take care.